Good morning and welcome back to POG, Philly Outdoor Gardening Girl. Listen, tomatoes. You guys have been growing your tomatoes and you're all excited and you're all happy about your tomatoes, but you're worried about yellow spots, you're worried about caterpillars, you're worried about whether it's a male or a female and how to pollinate and how to make sure you get good tomatoes. So let's talk about a few things. First of all, this is really overgrown, and I will say overgrown only because it's probably I think it's 5 tomatoes in here, tomato plants. I planted five this year because last year I planted 2. One died, and then the other one didn't give me a lot, so I figured I put 5 in here, 2 would die, and then I'll have 3, and already have enough tomatoes. But I learned stuff as I was doing it last year, and so as I learned, I've gotten better flowers. Listen, this is about learning. Yes, growing is the benefit, but this is about learning what works in your garden. My opinions are my opinions on what I do in my garden. What you do in your garden, that's your business. Please don't try to listen to everybody and don't try to do everything that everybody does. So, I believe this is an indeterminate tomato plant. I don't remember. And somebody's going to say, what does indeterminate mean? Indeterminate means it will continue to grow as tall as it possibly can, and it will bloom all throughout the season. Determinate means it will only grow a certain height, usually about 4 feet, and then it will only bloom for a certain period of time. So you may only get 20 tomatoes off of that. I like the indeterminate, so I'm pretty sure this is probably indeterminate. Okay, now next. I see women who are saying, I'm cutting off the flowers because I don't want it to bolt. Tomatoes don't bolt. The flower is actually the fruit. Yes, tomatoes are fruit. I know you're going to say, no, tomato is not a fruit, it's a vegetable. Tomato is classified as a fruit because it has seeds in it. So it will turn into this little yellow flower, which you'll see a lot of them on this one, will turn into the tomato. And if the cameraman will come closer, you will see that this flower is actually turning into the tomato. And here I already have a tomato. Here I have a tomato. Now, they're green. They're small. Hey, that's because they're just starting. I don't know how big this one is. I'm not sure if this one is my beefsteak because I didn't write it down because I'm not good. I wasn't good at this time with it. Or if this is my cherry tomatoes. But whatever one it is, it's going to do what it's got to do. You want to see this. Now, pollination. Pollination is really important. Some of you are putting tents on them, and some of you are putting bags around them, and you're stopping the bees from getting to them. And you guys know that that's okay. You can do that as long as you want to go out and hand pollinate. Hand pollination, not my thing. I am not going to take a little Q-tip and put it up in this flower and then put it in this flower. That's not me. I believe in letting nature pollinate. How does it happen? It's lots of ways. The wind blows the pollen off and onto the other parts of the flower. The bees and the butterflies pollinate. And then you can just shake your flowers like this. And I do shake and hope that the pollen will fall. And you're like, well, you don't see the pollen falling. No, you don't. But if you're doing the shake method, you're hoping and you're praying that it's working. Now, the other things that we're talking about is feeding your tomato. Tomatoes need water. Lots and lots of water. I see people who are putting like a cup of water in there. No, I take the hose and I just stand here and I just fill it up. I let the water get to the top of the pot, and then I have great drainage at the bottom. It drains out. I'm also going to add some mulch today. Now, the mulch is for 2 reasons. This mulch is straw. This mulch will decompose. So I'm going to put it around the bottom of the flower. This mulch will retain water as well as provide it with healthy nutrients as it decomposes. Okay, and it also keeps some pests out. Some pests don't like to dig in the straw. They don't like the smell of it. So I'm going to go all the way around the plant. Okay. So she has a lot of mulch in there, and I have to say I have been using straw for a lot of vegetables. I have the straw on my cabbages. I have straw on my in my planters for my regular plants, and I do see a difference. Now, after I did the mulching, I'm going to also talk about, could you come here please? You will see this little branch here. I'm going to break this off. It's too close to the soil. It's already bending. I'm going to break it off. Not going to hurt the plant. You will also hear people say suckers. A sucker is usually found in the V right here. Now I'm not going to mess with this because I'm not sure if that's going to be my flower or if that's going to be a sucker. So I'm not going to mess around with that. Trimming back, I also will come through and I see a black and yellow leaf here. I'm going to just take that black and yellow leaf and remove it, remove it, remove it, remove it. Okay. If you do suckers, you can place those suckers in the ground and they will grow. May take some time. Now, also with my tomatoes, I add coffee. People ask me how, so here it is. Here's my handful of coffee. Throwing it on top of the soil. I add eggshells. The eggshells are for calcium. I take, as you can see, I have eggshells in the jar. Whenever I have eggs, I just put them in the jar. Some people rinse them off, some people don't. I rinse mine off because I don't have deer. If you have deer, you don't want to rinse them off. The smell of the egg yolk is what keeps the deer away. And then I'll put this in here. Now, remember, it takes some time for eggshells to break up because they're hard, okay? And then that's pretty much all I will do with her, and I water her. I hope that you keep growing and keep learning. I hope you have a bountiful supply of tomatoes this year. Oh, sorry. A bountiful supply of tomatoes. As you can see, I have probably about 10 little tomatoes starting. And enjoy your day.